Hello everybody, and welcome. My name is Rin, and I'm going to show you the wonders of Faerun, more specifically the beasts that live there. In this series, we explore the entirety of the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition bestiary in great detail. Come with me into the madness, the magic, and the horror of this great realm. Aarakocra are noble creatures, full of purpose and conviction. They have been given a vast overhaul since the previous editions of the game, changing from somewhat low intelligence, tribal, and animalistic-looking humanoids to being dutiful and organized, neutral good, and acting as the guardians of the elements. They spend their lives closely watching the elemental planes and Faerun for evils, deacons of the plane of air, their home realm Akka, and servants of the illustrious Vati. Aarakocra are traditional and ever subservient. This is their calling. It's rare for an average person to encounter Aarakocra in their lifetime, being that they live mainly atop high peaks, and should you encounter a group of them away from mountains, count yourself unlucky, for you must have disrupted the balance of the elements, or come across a dangerous duty of theirs to attract such a moral group to your presence. They live on the tops of mountain peaks, building nest-like homes where they live together, near portals to the elemental plane of air so as to guard it. The eldest Aarakocra will normally head their home as village leader, maintaining tradition and balance. Despite the structures they build, they still live nomadically. They may spend years, even decades, atop a single peak. But as soon as they're sure the region they're guarding is safe from elemental evil, they move on to a different region and begin anew. For they understand the burden they bear, and are solely focused on justice, silently, gallantly watching out for the creatures they so scarcely communicate with, yet remaining ever vigilant. Rejecting standard beliefs in borders, property, and the value of material things, they believe only in necessity and that all excess is greed. However, should a lone Aarakocra befriend an adventurer, you'll notice them spend all of their extra funds on food, weapons, gear, even sleeping rolls for their friend. As part of their history and believed duty, these bird-like creatures also spend their time in search of what is known as the Seven Shards, pieces of a weapon of godlike strength, known as the Rod of Law, or the Rod of Seven Shards, that once was used by the Wind Dukes of Akka, otherwise known as the Vati, to kill Miska, the Wolf Spider, Prince of Demons, and the greatest general of the Queen of Chaos. It is said that the Rod of Law was broken apart after the death of Miska and scattered among the world. To this day, the Aarakocra listen closely for signs of the shards. Aarakocra aren't actually particularly tall, averaging only about 5 feet in height, and their weak hollow bones and thin shape makes them considerably lightweight at around 80 to 100 pounds. They are considered medium-sized creatures that live somewhere between 100 and 150 years. They have the appearance of humanoids that are covered in feathers, with the head and face of an eagle, hawk, falcon, or owl, and bird-like legs with large talons on their feet. They have mighty wings connected to their shoulder blades, and a wingspan of around 20 feet fully extended. Aarakocra have an armor class of 13 and 3d8 or 13 average hit points, with a walking speed of 20 and flying speed of 50. They have a +5 perception bonus and 15 passive perception. They speak the Aarakocran, Oran, and English language, and have a challenge rating of 1/4 each, making them worth 50 experience each. Their stat block is as such: 10 strength, 14 dexterity, which is a +2 bonus, 10 constitution, 11 intelligence, 12 wisdom, which is a +1 bonus, and 11 charisma. To coax an Aarakocra into combat would mean committing evil against them or the elements. Now, bear in mind that a simple act of thievery or petty crime would mean little to them, as they care only about one another and defense of the elemental planes. They're quite goal-oriented and prefer to stay out of petty matters. If you do them no wrong, they are content with you. However, committing elemental atrocities would incite the hellfires of the fearsome horde of the bird-like. They have the Talon Attack, which is a melee weapon attack with a +4 to hit, with a 5-foot reach, and it hits one target. Upon hit, it does 1d4 +2 slashing damage. They also have the Javelin Attack, a melee or ranged weapon attack with a +4 to hit, a 5-feet reach, or a range of 30 to 120 feet, one target. Upon hit, it will deal 1d6 +2 piercing damage. On top of that, they have a special move, the Dive Attack. If the Aarakocra is flying and dives at least 30 feet straight towards a target and then hits it with a melee weapon attack, the attack deals an extra 1d6 of damage to the target. These birdmen rarely fight anything one-on-one and much rather prefer to stay grouped as there are strength in numbers. They have a special summoning ritual wherein they can summon an air elemental. 5 Aarakocra within 30 feet of each other can magically summon an air elemental. Each of the 5 must use its action and movement on 3 consecutive turns to perform an aerial dance and must maintain concentration while doing so, as if concentrating on a spell. When all 5 have finished their 3rd turn of the dance, the elemental appears in an unoccupied space within 60 feet of them. It is friendly towards them and commands. It remains for 1 hour until it or all of its summoners die, or until any of its summoners dismisses it as a bonus action. A summoner can't perform the dance again until it finishes a short rest. When the elemental returns to the elemental plane of air, any Aarakocra within 5 feet of it can return with it. And so that is the Aarakocra. That is the lore of the creature, that is its behaviors, and that is insight as to how one might use it in a D&D campaign setting. I've been Rin, and I'll see you in the next episode. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Have a good one.